I'm often asked, is flute the hardest instrument to learn? In my opinion, no. However, I think it is much harder than people think it is, and I'll explain why. So I think the hardest part about the flute is just how we play it. So a lot of instruments like saxophone and clarinet and even most brass instruments, you just put your mouth to the mouthpiece and then you play. So it's like pretty direct. Of course, there's embouchure and stuff like that. But with the flute, we make sound by blowing across. So finding the correct position can sometimes take a while, and sometimes you can even not make a sound for like a week or something like that. And I remember for me, I didn't get the sound right away. So it's really important to find the correct embouchure. I like to call it the diamond embouchure, kind of like that. To make sure that you are not too tight, you are blowing correctly, and to make everything really nice. I think there's a common misconception that flute is the easiest, so parents will just be like, okay, and I think it's because of the size of the flute. It's so small, it will fit in your backpack, it's so convenient for that reason, but I think that's why a lot of parents just are like, okay, why don't you just start on the flute? And again, it's not the hardest instrument in my opinion. I think violin and French horn are the hardest, and I don't really have like a scale to measure it on, but violin, like if you move your finger just slightly, you're already out of tune, versus on the flute, we have buttons and keys, so actually we know that we'll get the right note out, but again, tuning is also tricky because not every key or note will be in tune just because you press the right keys. You have to adjust tuning for each note. It's a whole thing. Also, tone on flute takes years to really develop, and to feel like it's consistent across the registers takes a really long time. Technique is also very challenging as we have a lot of really fast pieces that we have to play in, and so our music is very technically challenging, and that's kind of what makes it a little harder too. What do you think? Do you agree with me, or do you think that flute is actually very easy? Put it in the comments.